So thank you for joining us. I really appreciate that. So I hope everybody had a good day so far and we're ready to get started. So, we always start with our good morning song. So, or poem, however you want to say it. So I think Miss Phyllis will just say it, okay? So good morning, how do you do? Good morning, happy day to you. Good morning. Guess what? It's going to be a beautiful day. We might get a little rain, but that's okay. So I want you to clap your hands. I want you to stomp your feet. And then we're going to jump up and down. And then we're going to have a seat. So with that, now we're going to have a really, really special story today. And the name of our story is Sticks. Looky there. All right, before we start our story, I want to introduce you to the characters, okay? So first, if you look there, we have Mr. Pencil. Here's Mr. Pencil, and he's saying, good morning, how's everybody? So there's Mr. Pencil. Then we have, I'm going to skip over here. This is Mr. Twig, okay? And Mr. Twig has a very special part in this story. Hi, Mr. Twig. How are you today? I think he looks pretty good, don't you? I don't know. He's missing his leaves, but that's okay. So we're going to put Mr. Twig down. And then the next character is not on the cover, but he's in our book, and he's a paintbrush. And I don't know. I think he's ready to go paint a picture. But we'll see when we open our book, all right? And our final character is the main character of our story, and that is Mr. Popsicle. Look at Mr. Popsicle. He is orange, but he doesn't look too happy. And that's what our story is about. It's about him and what happens to him. But I want to tell you, all these characters, the popsicle, the twig, the paintbrush, and the pencil. Do you know that they all started out with a piece of wood? So you got to remember that. All of these they started with wood. So I'm going to put these back down for a few minutes, and we're going to start our story. And so the name of our story again is Sticks. And it's written and illustrated by Diane Alber. So she wrote the story and she illustrated the story. So let's see what happens. All right. Oh, as I open the book, look, they have all of our characters looking at each other. And they're saying, oh, goody, we're going to have a story today. Let's see. Okay. And you know what? I don't say this too many times, but the author usually dedicates a book. And this one is dedicated to her children. And she says, to my children, Ryan and Anna, thank you for refusing to throw away your sticky popsicle sticks because you knew you could make something amazing. Isn't that nice? So let's start our story. Oh, we got our little character. Look at that. All right. The story begins on a hot summer day when a cold, tasty treat began to melt away. I bet you've had a popsicle that, all of a sudden it starts to melt when it's really, really hot out. It was so very hot, and it happened so quick. What one was a popsicle was now a stained stick. Look, all of it melted. Wow. Huh. He's just saying, what happened to my clothes? Deep in a puddle, deep in a puddle that was getting quite sticky. This sad little stick cried and felt rather icky. And he said, I should not have gone out when it was so hot. I was sweet and amazing, but now I am not. What can I do? This has to gone so wrong. I'll just be a plain stick. Oh, where do I belong? So now our little popsicle, let's look here what happened. He's a plain stick. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see what happens. Then Stick heard a voice from way up in a tree. And it said, hello there. How can you hang with me? I couldn't help hearing what you have been through. My name is Twig, and I'm made of wood too. And Twig says, please do not cry and just listen to me. Before being a popsicle, you were part of a tree. There's so much in the world for you to explore. You will go through this and be more than before. Twig quickly jumped down from the very tall tree and said, Stick, there is something I'd like you to see. Sometimes things happen and the reason aren't clear, but give it some time and the answers appear. So Mr. Twig has lots of good little messages for our Mr. Stick. She knew her friend Pencil. Oh, here's our friend Pencil. Could draw something grand. Hopefully he could help Stick understand. So the pencil said, I was once a stick too, and nothing more. But then one special day, I got a gray core. I didn't know how to draw, so I swirled a nice line, and then I discovered I had made a design. Looks like he made a little person and a house. And then the pencil said, you are amazing. That's kind of nice. You are amazing. And Pencil and Stick said, can't you see? I'm just a stained stick. My only talent was melting too quick. I cannot draw or do a fun trick. I'll always be just an old icky sticky stick. So Twig knew she needed to show Stick even more, something amazing that he could not ignore. So they went to see Brush. There's Brush. He was once lost too, but now he could paint with red, white, and blue. Brush was a plain stick and nothing much more, but one special day he got bristles galore. Look at him now, look at all he can do. He easily made that fun splatter crew. Blue, yellow, red. It is true what Twig said. I was once just like you. Please don't be afraid to try something new. I know you are scared, and I could tell by your face, but it might take some time to find your right place. And Paintbrush said, we believe in you. Look at that pretty picture. We believe in you. And Stick said, can't you see I'm just a stained stick. My only talent was melting too quick. I cannot paint or do a fun trick. I'll always just be an icky, sticky stick. And Twig said, listen to me. You are pretty great. Don't say I can't. Say I can and celebrate. I know you have been a plain stick before. You have the chance now to be something much more. Oh, so Twig saw that Stick was still very upset. So she thought they should go back to where they first met. Back at the sweet puddle of sugary goo, Twig thought Stick might find a good clue. Then Twig looked up. I've been there all along. That little stick house could be where you belong. Twig was excited. She ran up the tree and shouted to Stick, hurry up, follow me. Stick couldn't believe Twig had climbed up so high, and Stick said, I'll never climb a tree. I am too scared to try. Just then, a bluebird flew down to the ground and lifted Stick up without making a sound. Ooh, look at that. Lifted Mr. Stick up. The bird placed him gently in the last open space. Finally, Stick found his new happy place. He said, this is where I belong. I can make an art in a tree. It was quite a journey, but I'm glad to be me. So he ended up being part of the little tree birdhouse. Stick never forgot that one hot summer day and was glad that his popsicle melted away. He made some true friends and beautiful tree art and learned it never too late to have a fresh start. Look at him up in his, he made that special little place right there. And that's the end of our book. Isn't that a good story? So I think if we think about it, sometimes if something doesn't turn out your way, you can always find another way to make it better. So instead of saying, I can't, you say, I can do it. And then that would be amazing. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that story. I know I enjoyed reading it, and I think it's a really special book. Okay, all right. So let's put it down, and let's just say goodbye, Mr. Pen. Oh, brush. Oh, our little popsicle stick. He's now a birdhouse. And we have Mr. Pencil, and we have our famous Mr. Twig. He taught the popsicle stick a real good lesson today. All righty, well, we're just about done. Don't forget that we're still working on that Imagine Your Story book written by, and you get to be the author and the illustrator. So you can come by, pick up a little booklet. It's kind of empty right now, but I bet you can draw some beautiful pictures and make a story. Bring it back to the library and you'll get a prize. And you know what? If it's really a good story, we're going to read it for all of you. Okay? So imagine your story. Okay. Don't forget, next week is the final week to turn in your reading logs for the summer reading program. And we hope to see you then, where you can pick up a beautiful book and a treat. Okay? All right. Well, I think it's about time to say our goodbye song. So I want to stand up, and it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. First, we're going to hop, and then we're going to, oh, I know we need that stretch right now. We've been sitting a long time. We're going to stretch. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Let's dance. What do you think? Let's swim. Let's walk. And it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. So, goodbye. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to say goodbye, and we're going to see you next week for one more story. All right. Have a good week. Love you. Take care.